Now, the inventor of the World Wide Web, Sir Tim Berners-Lee, has revealed his Web Index league table of how different countries use and abuse the internet around the world. Britain might look quite progressive, but not in terms of freedom and surveillance, as this programme revealed earlier this week. It's built for fun, but contains technology some associate with state surveillance. Microsoft's latest incarnation of the Xbox was launched today, complete with facial recognition. The extent to which the online world interacts with our lives in good or bad ways is the subject of today's report from the internet watchdog Web Index. It ranked countries in 4 categories: universal access, freedom and openness, relevant content, and user empowerment. Sweden came top, with the UK third, but that overall ranking hid the uncomfortable fact that in freedom and openness, Britain languishes at 24th.
My name's Ed Snowden.
It could have been worse. Some of former security analyst Edward Snowden's revelations emerged before the report's September deadline, but other claims, including allegations by this programme, that US spy agencies have been allowed access to phone and web records of millions of Britons for almost a decade, will be assessed in next year's survey. For Tim Berners-Lee, who invented the World Wide Web way back on Christmas Day 1990, who's watching who is the preeminent question of the internet age. An age where technology can subvert state censorship, but where state surveillance, he argues, threatens the future of democracy. Well, earlier I spoke to Tim Berners-Lee and I asked him how worried he is about the recent revelations of the extent of snooping by America's NSA and Britain's GCHQ.
Oh, I do think it's very serious. I think that, so congratulations on the recent piece you've added to the pile there. I think there, for example, in the thing that you've just released with The Guardian, the fact that the surveillance was going on, keeping data on ordinary citizens who have not been accused of crimes, but also the fact that this is secret, don't tell the government. So if you have, once you have something which has got this is so secret you can't tell the government about it, obviously things have broken down. You've got, the government is supposed to be accountable to the people. If something is not accountable to the government, then the accountability to the people is broken down.
How much damage do you think it's doing? Because, I mean, obviously it's undermining trust.
I think to a certain extent there are some things that people do on the internet where they think, you know what, if there's a government agent looking over my shoulder when I buy these shoes, whatever. Hey guys, I'm buying some shoes. But there are other people who use the internet for something more intimate. You know, they talk. You know, people who love each other talk about intimate things over long distances. People who use it for medical purposes, to be able to share those fears, share the symptoms, and go through the diagnostic charts. Is something obviously where you don't want, and you want to be able to do that without anybody else knowing.
What do you think we should do about it?
I think we should build a proper system of checks and balances. We should build for every time we give an agency in government power to break privacy. So, you know, agencies need that power. For that agency which is doing it, we need to have another one which is watching it. We have another system. We need to have a system which is powerful, more powerful than the ones we've had to date, which is independent, and which is accountable as near as we can make directly to the public. Should
we all protect ourselves with greater encryption? Should we all be on the dark web?
No, well, if the dark web is the web of people who deliberately are trying to hide themselves from law and order in order to do to mean nasty, horrible things, no, we should not all be on the dark web. Should we use encryption? I send encrypted messages, so I think there'll be probably spread of more use of encryption. That will make a certain amount of spying. It also, of course, let's make a certain amount of spying more difficult. It'll make the internet a little bit more secure.
Is it inevitably a cat and mouse game?
I think crime on the internet, cybercrime is a cat and mouse game, when people are just out to get you any way they can, and you're a company, for example, trying to protect its secrets against industrial espionage. That is a cat and mouse game. Between the government and the people should not be a cat and mouse game, because the government isn't there to deliberately or whisk away. No, the security service is there to do a very difficult job with a lot of trust from the people, we need to renegotiate that trust. And British people are famous around the world for trusting their government more than a lot of people trust a lot of governments.
So all these politicians who are going around saying Edward Snowden's been terrible and he's put lives at risk and has been terribly damaging, what would you say to them?
What do we know about Edward Snowden? We know that can claim to be in the category of whistleblower because he clearly looked at the other options open to him. He looked at it and he realised that there's a serious difference between what the public generally understand and what is the truth. When the systems of checks and balances in government are broken, sometimes it's only the whistleblower, it's the only thing that society as we know it has to hang on to, is the fact that somebody may do the whistleblower thing. So we have to protect them, I think.
And there's more from Tim Berners-Lee on tomorrow night's programme when he tells us what the next 25 years of the internet might have in store.